I mean, heck of a. First of all, I made a mistake, and I should have said it at my pregame presser. But happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there. Mom, happy Mother's Day. I love you. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers in my family, again, as well as everybody else around the world. Mothers are the backbone of most families, if not all families, and this is definitely a day that we'd like to show appreciation for what they do, and they do a lot. But it's just a heck of a game by our guys. Their focus, their attention to detail, while bringing energy and effort, not just tonight, but throughout the course of the series, was at a pretty high level. Closeout games are the hardest games to play because the level of desperation from the other team, especially when you're on the road and you factor in your opponent's home crowd. So, I mean, I give our guys a lot of credit. I give my staff a ton of credit. My staff has been unbelievable from top to bottom. They've been really, really, really good in our preparation and making sure guys understand what we need to do so that they can stay focused on the details at hand. Offensively, we were great on the glass, 15 offensive rebounds for 18 second chance points. We got out in transition. We had 20 fast break points. We did what we do. We had 17 sprays. And obviously if our guys were in, maybe those go up. I don't know. But we were really good in those areas in terms of sharing the basketball as well, playing off of 2 feet, 33 assists on 49 baskets, unbelievable. And, our sprays were tremendous, but the spacing part is what made them really good. We spaced the floor very good, and when they committed to the ball, and/or we touched the paint and they collapsed and their defense collapsed, we did a great job of finding the open man and making one more pass without panicking. And guys stepped in and knocked shots down. 25 threes on 44 attempts. If I'm seeing that right, it's unbelievable. It's great basketball. But with the group that I have in that locker room, they're more than capable of doing something like that. We talk about keeping those guys out of transition. We did a better job in the second half of that. Did a good job of keeping them off the offensive glass. They got to the free throw line, but we were able to take care of some other areas to help combat the 28 free throws. And then again, it comes down to just a total team effort. Obviously, all of our guys, start with Jalen and Kat, were really good, but Deuce is unbelievable. His ability to stretch the floor and create space for others is second to none. He's got a confidence about him, a belief in himself that just makes us take another level on both ends of the floor. Josh, you talk about a workman's mindset, a connector. He's one of the best connectors I've ever been around. He's up there with Andre Iguodala, in my opinion. Those are two of the best I've ever been around. And, when he does what he does out there, it just makes the game so much easier for everybody else. Mikhail's shows why he's one of the best two-way players in the league. He's been phenomenal on both ends of the floor. And then our bench. We've gotten lifts from our bench at different times. Mitch has been fantastic. JC has been fantastic. Jose has been fantastic. Landry Shamet has been fantastic. All those guys have had big moments for us throughout the course of these playoffs so far. And for us, that's something that we've wanted to establish during the course of the season for moments like these. So, I applaud all of our guys because they're trying to play basketball the right way, and I will applaud my staff as well. So,
you mentioned the spacing of the three-point shooting. I mean, was that the biggest factor? Was it Just execution? Was it the looks? What? I mean, I think you guys tied the record for most in a playoff game. So, what allowed you to have such a great three-point shooting game?
If I had to say one thing, it's the spacing. Those guys are so quick. They're so athletic. They do a great job of going to take the basketball if you're not paying attention. Great in the passing lane. And so if you're not spaced the right way, you're not going to get great looks because they're just too quick and too athletic. From there, you could talk about touching the paint and some other things, taking care of the ball. But if there's one thing that I would hang my hat on when it comes to having an opportunity to get up threes against that team, is your spacing has to be right.
Mike, how much did you know about how crazy the Knicks fan base was before you took this job? What was your, experience with them? And then how much have you grown to either respect or learn about the lengths this fan base will go to support their team?
I obviously didn't know how well they travel and stuff like that. But, when you're, because I was out of coaching, so I watched you guys every once in a while. When I say you guys, I watched ESPN and all that other stuff during basketball times. And they'd show, videos of fans after a first-round win climbing light poles and crap like that, in New York. And so I'm like, wow, you love it. You love seeing stuff like that, And so I got a lot of respect for you Knicks fans. I'm gonna applaud them too. Let's go Knicks. Great job. But I got a lot of respect for them, and the more you obviously you're around, that's the more you appreciate and understand why they are like that. But more than anything else, they're knowledgeable. It's a knowledgeable group or knowledgeable fan base, and you respect that just as much as their passion shows.
Like you mentioned Deuce and kind of that belief he has in himself.
Yeah.
And it really does seem like he could go 0 for 12, and the 13th is going up just as quickly as the first, right?
He don't care.
You've now been around him for a
Yeah.
year. He's this very soft-spoken guy in a lot of ways. But, where do you feel like that comes from within him?
Hey, it's Mother's Day. It comes from his mom. Get that correct. It comes from his mom. He's just tough. He's just tough-minded. He's a football player, He, in order to have a chance in life and anything you do, you have to have a short memory, and he definitely has a short memory.
Mike, Cat had 10 assists in 20 minutes. When you made the decision to make him more of a passer and facilitator, you've been around the league long enough to understand that if that went sideways, you were going to take a lot of heat for that, given his status or stature in the league. What gave you the courage of your convictions to make a move of that magnitude in the middle of a playoff series?
I mean, we made a lot of moves throughout the course of the year and throughout the course of the playoffs, and you just keep trying to do what's best for the team. I don't care what team I'm with when you're talking about being in the NBA. Even if you do stuff right, you're going to get criticized. So you just embrace whatever's out there, and you keep trying to do what's best for the team. And at the end of the day, if it doesn't work out, the one thing I know I can do is I can go look in the mirror and say, hey, I tried to do the best I could for this group, regardless of anything else. I tried to do the best I could, and that's what keeps me going. But I've said this before. I've been around Hall of Fame coaches in Steve Kerr and Greg Popovich, work for them both, and I've heard both of those guys get criticized. And so if those guys can get criticized or thrown to the wolves at times, you best believe I can. I ain't got nothing right now that could touch them.
We'll do a couple more. You mentioned when you were talking about the game that just the level of focus that you saw from the group. I'm just wondering, have you seen that? Has that been elevated over the last few games as you guys have had this success? Has it been higher than previously, maybe?
It's definitely been elevated in the playoffs. Our guys, they've tried to take it to another level with their focus on the details and their energy and effort level. And that's a lot of reason why we're playing pretty good basketball. That's, when you talk about the elite and the great in any business, I don't care what business you're in, there's one word that stands out. It's the word consistency. The elite do it every freaking play. even if it gets boring or monotonous, and that's what we have to figure out to see if we can do. If we can do it every play, then we have a chance to be elite.
Obviously, you're going to reap a lot of benefits from having these next 6, 7, 8 days, however long you're going to have off, and you probably won't trade those in. But when you have a team playing at this kind of level, is there a part of you that almost wishes you could go out and play again tomorrow just because you're playing so well?
Definitely not tomorrow. What is today? Maybe Wednesday. No, yeah, you like the rhythm that you're in, but like I just said, if we expect to be who we think we're capable of being, we'll find a way to stay consistent with what we're doing, whether it's the energy level, the effort level, or embracing/focusing on the details that we have to be able to understand in order to go out